Happily ever after only exists in fairy tales. Yet a talking teddy bear is about to marry his girlfriend.
I now pronounce you teddy bear and wife. Let me kiss the bear.
Proving that Americans don't give a crap about anything.
So I got some big news. Tammy Lynn and I are gonna have a baby.
That's awesome. Wait, how do you guys...
That's the thing. We need a donor. You haven't smoked for 2 whole days, right?
I told you, I'm clean, all right? Your baby's gonna be fine.
Right, I'm sorry. I just don't want something I gotta feed with a pitchfork when he's 16.
Oh my God, Teddy, look at this. It says if we want to have a baby, you're going to have to prove you're a person in a court of law.
This is a nightmare.
We gotta fight it. We'll get a lawyer, and we'll sue the government for your civil rights.
Fight the power! I'm Samantha Jackson. You must be Ted.
Yeah, Samantha Jackson. What's your middle name?
Leslie.
Oh my God, you're Sam L. Jackson.
That's great. I mean, just like Sam L. Jackson.
Who is that?
You ever seen any movie ever? He's the black guy.
Fight the power! They've denied you the same rights as everybody else just because you're different.
Can you get me my life back?
Ted, do you believe you have a soul?
What did you think I would do at this moment?
Objection.
Overruled. You want to be human in the eyes of the law. The important thing about being human is making a contribution to society.
Hey, take that! What the hell's your problem? That's what you get for exercising.
Go, go, go!
All right, I'm gonna ask you a few test questions now. You ready?
Yep, bring it on.
Do you consider yourself to be human?
Objection.
Sustained.
No, the witness can't object.
Overruled.
Sidebar.
Guilty.
Speculation.
Hearsay.
Bailiff.
Briefcase.
Disregard.
In my chambers.
Stop Beaver on the witness.
Arrest.
We could totally be lawyers.
Bang.
You are currently watching the sexiest man alive in the universe. The one, the only sexiest man alive is back. He's back. And I went to the movies last night with my buddy John Alves. Give John Alves, Nike Tex 82 a shout out. One of my best friends in the universe. Real talk, real cool cat. We went to go see Ted 2 last night at AMC 24 in First Colony in Sugar Land. And the movie started at 11:15. By the time we got out of the theater, man, it was almost at least about 1:45 in the morning, man. It's a pretty long movie, but let me tell you something. If you guys have not seen Ted 2, the premiere came out on Thursday. Yesterday was the first day it came out. Now, it wasn't crowded at the movie theaters, which I was kind of shocked, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Garth Brooks came into town. They had a Garth Brooks concert downtown. And then not to mention that, but also the gay pride rally that they had downtown as well. Like I said, I'm all for gay marriage or whatever. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't affect my life. It's none of my business, so I could care less. They're human beings just like the rest of us. So they need to be treated as equal as the rest of us. But anyways, let's skip all that stuff. I already talked about that. That's in my last video if y'all want to check it out. But anyways, if you guys haven't seen Ted 2, you are fools if you haven't seen that movie. I talked to a girl the other day, homegirl of mine. She's like, man, I haven't even seen the first one. I'm like, well, you're really missing out. If you haven't seen part 2, first go watch part 1. But if you already seen part 1, go see Ted 2. I recommend it. Take your $10 and go to AMC Theater and go see that movie. I'm telling you, because that was a really good movie. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but the movie starts off like Ted's getting married to his newly wife or whatever, like he's marrying her. So they get married and everything. They're living in an apartment. A year goes by, and they're fighting over bills and stuff like that because apparently they both work at the same grocery store like they do in the first one, and they're not making a lot. They're not making a lot of money. You know, they live in like just a low rent apartment in New York area. I think they live in Brooklyn, if I'm correct. And Ted starts cursing. They start screaming. They start throwing stuff at each other. And then all of a sudden, Ted looks out of the window, and his neighbor's telling him, will you shut the fuck up? And Ted's like, hey, fuck you, asshole. They start really going at it, man. This Ted, not only can curse, but, man, he's just, when he talks, he speaks, it makes you laugh the entire movie. Like, if you guys want to laugh the entire movie, go see Ted 2. I recommend it. Go see Ted 2. Do not wait. Go see it. I might even go see it again because that's how impressed I was over this movie. I laughed the entire movie. The entire movie was good. Okay? So basically, Ted gets married to a girl or whatever. They start fighting. They start having problems. They start going to marriage counseling or whatever. And Mark Wahlberg in the first one was dating some girl. Then they stopped dating. Or they were married for 6 years, and he said she was trying to change me. You know, I don't want her to have to change me and stuff because he likes to smoke weed. Him and the bear do. And anyways, the bartender starts hitting on Mark Wahlberg, but he's like, look, I just got out of a relationship, just got burned. I don't want to jump back in it again. So then, you know, he, I guess, turned her offer down because she offered to, you know, go to a party with him and left her address and her number. And anyway, so Ted convinces him that he needs to start dating again. And Mark Wahlberg ends up dating this lawyer that ends up, him and her end up falling in love. But anyways, I mean, it's a really good movie. Like, you guys really need to go see it. Ted ends up going to court, and he tries to fight for his rights because they deny his credit status, they deny his citizenship, they deny his work because he's not defined as a person, so his job had to fire him. So now they're living off of the girl's income, his wife's income, and they annulled the marriage because the marriage is not official, or the marriage got annulled because he has been declared by the government not a person. So they had to hire an attorney, and this girl, Jackson, or whatever her name is, something Jackson, I can't think of her first name. Her name's something Leslie Jackson. That's where they got the Samuel L. Jackson reference from, the joke from. But she ends up representing them in court, and they end up losing the case, believe it or not. And later on in the movie, they hire Morgan Freeman, which he has another name in the movie, but they end up hiring him, and he ends up winning the case for them. So Ted has to remarry the girl again. He proposes to her at the end, but he has to end up marrying her again, and that'll probably be in part 3. But anyways, this movie is a must-see. You guys have to go see this movie. There's a lot of pot smoking in the movie, so you guys are going to like that, for all you potheads out there, or just people that, you know, find that hilarious. There's a lot of wisecrack joking. Ted and Mark Wahlberg, like, one of the funniest parts of the movie, they start fighting over a beer. There's like one beer left in the fridge, and like when the bear opens it, he sees it, Mark Wahlberg sees it, they start fighting over the beer. Like, they start having a tug-of-war over this one beer. And Mark Wahlberg takes the beer and he runs around the house, and Ted's chasing him, and then Ted ends up kicking him in the balls and takes the beer back, and he's chasing Ted all around, and then Ted starts shaking the beer up, so when Mark finally grabs the beer and he opens it, it splashes right in his face. I mean, overall, it was like a really good movie. And it turned out that the lawyer, believe it or not, the lawyer, the girl that's representing them, she ends up smoking. She's a pothead too. So her and Mark Wahlberg kind of had like this instant connection because, you know, they have a lot in common. And anyways, there's these two like creepy guys who work for the place who created the original teddy bear. One of them was a janitor, and the other guy was like a COO or something like that. He had like a real high position. They end up coming up with a plot to try to kidnap the bear and take what's out of his body so that they can make millions of Teds and try to, you know, get one for every child. That way they can see if they can make billions of dollars, like a lot of money off of this. They ended up failing at it because they went to like a Comic-Con place to try to kidnap the bear, and then Mark Wahlberg ends up saving the bear, and then like this large like ship fell on Mark Wahlberg, and Mark Wahlberg ends up going to the hospital, and everyone thought that he died because the doctor comes out, he's like, you know, I'm very sorry to tell you guys this, but, you know, he didn't make it. And you know, the bear's all shocked, the bear's girlfriend's shocked, and then Mark Wahlberg's lawyer, who he's now dating, is all sad about it, and they end up going to the hospital to say their goodbyes. And it turned out that Mark Wahlberg wasn't dead. He said, "Gotcha!" He went like that to the bear. And the bear's like, "You son of a bitch." So he jumps on the bed and starts punching Mark Wahlberg in the face. And then he was like, "Yeah, I got you. That was a good one." And the doctor was in on it. He said, "Just tell him that I passed away." So they were in on it, both of them. So I thought that was like a pretty cool scene. It was funny. It was hilarious. The one where the semen falls onto Mark Wahlberg, and the bear takes a picture and puts it on Facebook, and he's like, hashtag something, something, something. I forgot what he said. Well, he ends up getting the bear back later in the movie because, like, the the lawyer, she has like a bong, and it's shaped like a penis with the penis head, and you have to smoke out of it. And then Ted's like, I ain't smoking out of that shit because I'm not blowing through a penis thing or whatever. Mark Wahlberg's like, I'm not doing it either. So like they didn't smoke out of that bong. They said, let's go make a pipe out of like a canned soda. So they found like an empty canned Coke, and they ended up making a bong out of it. And then the bear's like, fuck it, you know, he didn't want to. It was like the next day, and they were driving on the road. They couldn't find their bong, so he said, fuck it, and he started smoking through that glass dick pipe. And Mark Wahlberg took a picture of it. He said, hashtag good summer or something. So he ended up getting the bear back. But all together, from the bear's cursing to the smoking to the nonstop fighting with Mark Wahlberg, to having the fight for this bear's civil rights and stuff like that, like this was a really good movie. I laughed the entire movie. I think maybe like the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie, it started getting like a little stale, and it wasn't as funny, and it kind of was like drawn into like a mystery part of the movie. They took some of the funniness away from it, but I think altogether, like at least like 90% of the movie was good. It was on point. It was good. I laughed. I thought the shit was hilarious. At the end, because the bear couldn't have sex with her because he didn't have a penis, they had to adopt the baby. They ended up adopting a baby, and they got him a little like teddy bear that was like little. And then Ted said, hey, you can wish for that bear to come to life just like Mark Wahlberg did to me, which that's not his actor's name. The actor's real name is Mark Wahlberg, but he has a different name in the movie. But he says, hey, you can wish for that bear to come to life and be just like me, and we can all smoke together and do drugs. And I just thought that shit was fucking hilarious. I just thought the movie was really good. It's worth. I would probably watch that movie over and over and over again. That's how good the movie was. If you guys have not seen Ted 2, I recommend you to go see it. So anyways, the sexiest man alive in the universe. He's signing out. Go see Ted 2.